Let's start the chapter living world. In human world there are two kind of views. One is anthropocentric, which means human centric view, and the second is biocentric. In this type of view all living beings are considered equal and study is done on all living beings. Now let's talk about similarities. If similarities are present in two generations like father and son, then it would be called as vertical similarity. If the similarity is in same generation like in brothers, then it would be called horizontal similarity. Like vertical means top to bottom or bottom to top between two generations, and horizontal means on members of same generation. Now one of the major definitions was given by Ernst Mayr, who was also called as Darwin of 20th century, and he got the triple crown of biology. He gave the most accepted definition of species, and his definition was if members of same species can reproduce freely to produce fertile offsprings, and it was one of the most widely accepted definition of species. When we see NCERT about the discussion of life, there are two kinds of features to distinguish the kind of life. One is characteristic feature. It is present in most of the living organisms, but it's definitely not guaranteed to be a defining feature, meaning a living state cannot be defined by this feature. One is growth and second is reproduction, and these are defining features because non-living organisms can grow sometimes due to accumulation of mass on their surface, like mountains can grow due to the accumulation of soil on surface. Reproduction is definitely not found in any type of non-living organisms, but it is also sometimes not found in living organisms like sterile human couples, for example, or bees, worker bees, or mule. In such organisms reproduction cannot be considered as defining feature. Furthermore, not all living organisms reproduce. Moving on to the next part, the second type of feature in the living organisms is defining feature. Defining features are present in all living organisms without exceptions. Some of the defining features are intrinsic growth, ability to sense environment, consciousness, and metabolism. There cannot be living state without metabolism. Oldest Now let's talk about the classification of living organisms. Oldest classification was done based on need and use of organisms like food, shelter, security, etc. If we talk about all the species present in the world, that would be called as biodiversity. There are about 1.7 to 1.8 million organisms already discovered, and about to the estimate of Robert May, total number of species are around 7 million. And so we have to identify the species so we don't mix up their names, so we give names for some identification everywhere. So same species is known as for the same name everywhere, because local names or vernacular names varies everywhere. You may call a thing something different here and it may have some different name in some other place. So that's why we invented scientific naming. It was The system we use for scientific naming is known as binomial system. First word is genus, second is species. By it is given by Carolus Linnaeus, and Linnaeus also gave two books, Systema, Nature, and Species, Plantarum. Now the names given by scientists are regulated by some bodies like ICBN, International Code Botanical Nomenclature, ICZN for zoological nomenclature, ICNB for bacteria, and ICNCP for cultivated plants, ICNB for viruses. There are five main steps to conduct this, and the method is known as taxonomy, meaning to give ranks or category. And conventional taxonomy includes four pillars: characterization, identification, classification, and nomenclature. It considers morphology, while modern one consider morphology, anatomy, structure, development process, and ecological information. Taxa is a smallest term. It indicates category at different levels. It is a unit of classification, ranks, group, or category. Taxa are distinct biological entities, not merely morphological aggregates, meaning all these things are considered in taxa. Out of all taxa, only 7 are obligate or compulsory taxa. There's a trick to remember it: keep pot clean or family gets sick. But from top to bottom: kingdom, then phylum for animals, division for plants, class, then order, then family, then genus, then species. If we go from species to kingdom, similarities decreases and common character also decreases, but general character would decrease vice versa, meaning general character would be found more and common character would be found less if we move from species to kingdom, meaning species would be most similar and least general, while kingdom would be least similar but most general characters. And nowadays taxonomy is replaced by systematics, which also includes taxonomy as well as evolutionary relationships, also known as phylogenetic relationship. Systematics come from Latin word systema, and systematics means systematic arrangement. Let's talk about some examples that are important. First is common names, which is for man. Homo sapiens is its biological name or its scientific name. Its genus would be the Homo, and the second word would be species or specific epithet sapiens. Total word can also be said to be as species Homo sapiens, and genus is done. Family is Homidae, order is Primata, class is Mammalia, and phylum is Chordata, and kingdom is animal kingdom. Housefly, second example. Housefly, common name, and its scientific name would be Mosca domestica. Its genus would be Mosca, Musidae family, Diptera order, Insecta class, Arthropoda, its phylum, and kingdom again Animalia. Third example would be mango. Its scientific name is Mangifera indica. Mangifera would be its genus. Anacardiaceae its family. Spindles orders. Dicotyledone is its class, and Angiospermae is its order. Wheat would mean Triticum aestivum, its scientific name. Triticum would be its genus, and Poaceae would be its family. Pools would be its order. Monocotyledone is its class, and Angiospermae is its phylum or division. Its kingdom would again be plant kingdom. Mango and wheat would be plant kingdom. These two will be animal kingdom. There is some important thing to consider. Animal family generally ends with a. Plant order suffix is ales, like this and this, poles and spindles. Animal family ends with a, while plant family generally ends with acae, and the plant order ends with opsida. These are considered as some general rules, and they are not always applicable, but mostly they are applicable. Now, let me give you a brief intro about some species and other necessary taxa examples that are given in NCERT. Like species Nigrum, Melanogena, and they are all included in Solanum. And Panthera have three specific epithets: Panthera leo tigris, and Pardus for leopard, Leo for lion, and Tiger for tigris. There are several based on common factors. Next will be genus. Genus would be like Panthera and Solanum, the first words, and there comes family. Family is Felidae for cats, Panthera comprising lion, tiger, leopard, Felidae, and Canidae for dogs. Then comes the order. Order would be like Convolvulaceae, Solanaceae for plants. Under the order Polymonials. Of course, Convolvulaceae and Solanaceae would be family, and they are both included in order Polymonials. And as for animal order, like carnivora orders includes animal like tiger, cat, dogs together, and the class would be the Mammalia. So Mammalia includes order Carnivora and others, also including Primata comprising monkey, gorilla, and gibbon. Next comes phylum. Phylum is the most detailed part because it's given in the every chapter, like phylum Chordata and all 11 phylums in animal kingdom, and the 5 phylums Algae, Bryophyte, Pteridophyte, Gymnosperm, Angiosperm in plant kingdom. As for kingdoms that will be discussed in biological classification chapters. That would be all for the chapter living world.